There's been a rumor going around this week that Floyd Mayweather was dropped in sparring with a body shot. Now, there's two possibilities here. The first possibility is that he did actually get dropped in sparring with a body shot. And the second possibility is that this is just a fake story that was created to generate more hype for the fight, to make people believe that Mayweather is vulnerable and Canelo can come in and take advantage. So I want to address both possibilities. Now, first off, if it's a fake story, then it's self-explanatory, as I just said. But it could just be a ploy to generate even more hype for the fight and just try and squeeze this cash cow as tight as possible and get out all the juice. That kind of thing happens all the time in boxing. Yeah, there's all kinds of fake rumors and fake stories that different camps put out to just generate more hype and create more interest and make more money. Because, you know, these kind of events are quite rare in boxing. Even though Mayweather is a big pay-per-view star, his last fight with Robert Guerrero didn't generate the kind of figures that Mayweather normally generates. So for this fight here with Canelo Alvarez, who's obviously a much bigger star in boxing than Robert Guerrero was, they want to make doubly sure that this is a box office smash and that maybe they can break the record of Mayweather against De La Hoya. All right, so there's plenty of motivation for them to put out a fake story to try and generate more interest and more revenue. Now, if it was real, if Floyd really was dropped by a body shot in sparring, I don't think it's going to be significant unless Floyd suffered some type of serious injury when he was dropped, like a cracked rib or something like that, which he probably did not. If he did suffer a cracked rib, then that's obviously going to be an advantage for Canelo, because not only will that area be vulnerable. I mean, it's unlikely the fight would go ahead if he had a cracked rib, or let's just say he had a severely bruised rib. Not only would that area be vulnerable, but at the same time, quite often when fighters have got damaged ribs, it can limit their mobility on one side of the body in terms of their upper body movement or even moving their arms, because it's very painful. All right. So if he's carrying an injury into the ring as a result of getting hit with that body shot, then yes, it is significant. But if he just got hit with a body shot, you know, went down, maybe he was winded and whatever, to me, that's not significant at all. Any fighter, it don't matter who you are, any fighter can be dropped with a body shot. If they get hit in the right spot with the right shot, any fighter, don't matter how good shape they're in, it don't matter how strong they are, it don't matter what weight they are, if they get hit in the right spot in the ribs, or just under the ribs, in the floating rib, you know, with a body shot, you're going to go down. It can happen to anyone. So if it has happened to Floyd in sparring, my answer is, so what? It could happen to Canelo in sparring. You know, these fighters like Floyd, you know, all these top fighters, they spar thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds throughout their careers. Things are going to happen. They're going to have moments where they get dropped. They're going to have moments where sparring partners sometimes get the better of them. When you're sparring thousands of rounds with different sparring partners, you know, you might be sparring two different guys, and then, you know, the third guy comes in and you're tired and he's fresh. He might just, you know, hurt you in there. He might just drop you. He might just, you know, beat you in the rounds that you're sparring with him. You know, sparring is hard work, especially for these professional fighters when they're gearing up to fight a big fight. They're sparring multiple different sparring partners, thousands of rounds or hundreds of rounds of sparring. Things can happen. You know, even Mike Tyson was dropped in sparring during his career a couple of times by Greg Page and by Oliver McCall. At least there may have been other occasions, but those are the two well-documented ones. And Tyson had a tremendous chin. When he was dropped by Oliver McCall, I think it was before the Tubbs fight, he was dropped by Oliver McCall. And that was one of Tyson's best performances. All right. So being dropped in sparring, especially by a body shot, I don't think it's that significant. Floyd normally protects his body very well. It's hard to hit Floyd in the body. Very hard to hit him in the body. So who knows what the truth is, whether it's real or whether it's not real. But I would probably say that, if it did happen, Floyd probably didn't suffer a debilitating injury. So I would say the likelihood is that this story is not going to have any impact on the fight. Whether it's true or not, it's not going to have any impact on the way the fight turns out. More than likely. Yeah, there's a small possibility, like I say, if Floyd is carrying an injury into the fight, that it could have some type of significance. But to me, that's a small possibility. There has been incidents in the past few years where fighters have been dropped or knocked out in sparring, and then later on it turns out that, when you see the way the fight transpired, you can look back and say, well, maybe that incident in sparring really was significant. And a good example would be Chad Dawson against Andre Ward. Chad Dawson was knocked out, or at least dropped very heavily by Edison Miranda 2 weeks before he faced Andre Ward. Yeah, and when you look back at the Ward fight, you think, wow, that could really be significant. What kind of mindset was he in going into the Ward fight, having been knocked out 2 weeks before the fight? It's not the kind of place you want to be mentally before the biggest fight of your life, or one of the biggest fights of your career. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on this story. Me personally, I think more than likely it's not going to make any impact on the fight. It won't have any impact on the fight, and it's probably just, even if it is true, anyone can get knocked down from a body shot, and as long as he didn't suffer any long-standing injury that may take several weeks to heal, then it's not going to be a factor. So yeah, drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about this, or let me know about any previous stories in other fights where guys have been dropped in sparring, where you felt that it showed itself in the fight. Yeah, let me know about any, incidents in the past like that, which you can remember where, it did actually play out in the fight as a significant incident. So yeah, drop your comments below. This is Hatman. I'm out.